We'll kick things off with New Zealand's premiership winning jockey, Craig Grills. Craig, a huge achievement. Your work ethic is something to behold. You have gone hard all season. How satisfying is it to be here tonight?
Yeah, very satisfying, Emily. For it all to come off, and sort of can't really comprehend that it sort of happened, to be fair, but I love what I do, and just sort of week in, week out, and great support I get from all stables in the country, really. The big stables, little stables, and it's honestly really humbling, very humbling.
Before we let you go, give us your highlight of 24-25.
It was definitely probably like a Lucy in the Oaks. As I probably said before, like there's a real good build up to it. She won all those stakes races leading up. There's a lot of pressure going into it, and I'll be lying if I said I didn't feel it. But for it to come, a plan to come off, it was big thrill, and to win it for Robbie and the connections who I've got to know very well too was great.
What a season it was, and just culminating obviously in an NZB Kiwi, a Karaka Million. That must have just been so exciting.
Yeah, massively. It was a season of ups and downs, and we're sort of adjusting with, going full noise in Cranbourne and obviously the South Island team as well. So it was helter-skelter, and like you say, probably those were the highlights. The NZB Kiwi and the Karaka Million double was really special, and something certainly we really cherish.
CL, thank you for doing this on behalf of Lily. I know you've got a few words to say for Lily.
She just wants to say thank you to everybody, and sorry she couldn't be here tonight. And it is pretty cool to have won this award again. A big testament to all the support she has had, and once again, for all the horses trying so hard for her. And most of all, to the Myers family and team, the biggest supporters and teachers that she could ever ask for. And there's too many people to thank individually. Many highlights of this season, and a very appreciative to everyone that has helped me make that happen.
This is a award Sir Brendan and Lady Jo have become quite familiar with winning, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. And look, it's very, very unfortunate they're not here tonight. Jo's not very well. I've got a big team from Cambridge Stud here tonight, and I know they'd all join me in wishing her the very best and hope that she's back on deck shortly, but that's why they're not here tonight. They wouldn't have missed it. But no, it's a great honour for them to be leading owners again. A big team to thank, Emily. We've got 80 horses in training, which they own 100% across Australia and New Zealand, 60 in New Zealand, about 20 in Australia. So there's a big thank you to all the trainers who train for them, particularly the domestic trainers here. Our private trainer, Lance Noble, runs a great show up at Karaka with a small team of horses. He's had another great year, agonisingly close in a couple of Group 1s, but we're going to convert them into wins this year. It would be a good time to thank particularly Graham Richardson, who trained a flying mare, Snazzy Tabby, for us, who was cruelly struck down with laminitis in January this year. Happily, she's back in the paddock at Karaka and she's fully recovered, but it was a 6 months recovery. But to all of those people who support us, our retained jockey, Warren Kennedy, who's had another great season with us, and he is going to join us again this year. Thank you all very much for being part of this success.
What a ride it's been. You must be just so happy with how you've kicked off training here in New Zealand.
Yeah, it's been very daunting to come to a new country, and you come to a place where no one knows you and you don't know anyone else. But I'd just like to thank everyone for the great amount of support that I've had. There's too many people to mention, but Peter and Dawn Williams, who trusted me with the yard, and to Daniel Narkley, to all the other owners and clients who have supported me and continue to support me. I really appreciate that. To my husband, Warren Kennedy, I've taken the role from full-time mother to back into training. It's been tough, but we've stuck it out, and just great to be here tonight, and thanks to all the sponsors, NZCR for putting on such a great event, Gavel House for this award. I really appreciate it, and to the horses. That's the main thing. That's why we're all here tonight, and the passion for the horses we have and the racing. It's just incredible, and just well done to all the winners tonight as well. Just glad to be here.
Like a Lucy 2024-25 New Zealand Bloodstock Filly of the Year. Congratulations to both of you. Well done.
Thank you very much.
It must have been such a ride, because if there was a filly of the season who won when she shouldn't, it was Like a Lucy.
Well, the way the crowds in the stand just called her name, it was rather frightening, because the expectation was she was going to win everything, but it was the most wonderful time of our lives as breeders and owners. She was great, and she's starting again next week.
I was going to ask you about that. Tell me the latest with Like a Lucy and where we can expect to see her next.
Starting next week in Sydney, and I think it's a 1300. It'll be a bit short, but Tony Berry and they said it's going very well, so we'll wait and see. It's hard over there. Nothing's easy.
Nothing is easy in Australia, that is for sure. When we reflect on what the 24-25 season brought for Like a Lucy, was there a highlight moment for you? Obviously, a Group 1 has got to be right up there.
Yes, it would have to be. All along the way, we remember Robbie saying after her first race, this is an Oaks horse, and we kind of looked at each other and thought, really? You know, people had told us after we took her out of the ready-to-run sale to bring her up, and because we were told she won't be worth anything. No, it was a great ride, and what Robbie Patterson and his team and Craig Grills and all the others that went with her, we had a marvellous year, and we're proud of her. We're proud of the industry, and this is a great night, by the way, everybody. It's a celebration night.
What was the mindset around the show when you first set out to do this? What were you hoping to get out of it, and what were you hoping to bring not only people in this industry but also into the mainstream?
We were given a blank canvas, and that was by the Entain executive team. And really importantly, I want to thank people who not only are there now, like Chris Haig, who's in charge of their media, but also Dean Shannon, Cam Roger, Lachlan Fitt, and Andy Hode, who aren't there, but have done a lot for our business, and we're a very small part of that in the last 2 years. I don't want their work and their vision to be forgotten during this. So then they gave me this role, and it wasn't my idea for it to be called that. And then
Whatever.
And then they employed Alex, who knows a lot more about television than me, and they said, we'll trust you to try and get this right. And we wanted to tell people stories because we realised that Entain has an obligation to drive gambling because we need the money. But there's some wonderful stories about some truly remarkable people. And to have that privilege for both Alex and I to tell those stories and to see behind the curtain, we hope that people will watch it and two things will happen. Either one, it'll be aspirational, where they go, wow, Chris Waller did some amazing stuff, and there's no reason I can't do that as a Kiwi. Or secondly, they'll watch you guys on Saturday afternoon and see a J-Mac or a Stephen Marsh or a David Ellis or Sir Peter Bella's colours, and they'll go, oh, wow, that person had to do all those things to get to there. So that was the idea, and Entain had to give us the flexibility to do that, and then I needed Alex's skill set to make that happen. And there's people who work at trackside you're never going to hear of who do a lot of the work, like, as you know, camera people, and all those things are really technical, and I don't know how to do them. So to rely on those people and a guy called Patrick Chappell to make sure that everybody was where they needed to be when they needed to be their guy, that was really important. But there was also one other group of people. All those people led us into their lives. James McDonald and Chris Waller and Sir Peter and they led us into their lives. And it's not the biggest show in New Zealand. It's just a small show compared to, say, 2020 or Network One News. But the difference is in this show, you know that the people in this room and the owners and the trainers and your rivals and your friends and your family are going to watch it, and the other people who matter the most. So to see people be really honest about their setbacks and their personalities and their challenges, to be able to bring that makes me feel immensely privileged, as it does for Alex, and we want to thank those people for letting us into their lives.
Tell me about this wonderful ownership group that we can see here on stage. Tell me about all these incredible people that are here tonight.
Yeah, they love her dearly. Actually, she sold really quickly. David bought her at Karaka, and many of the owners have been involved in her mother, who we also bought and trained. So I think there was in many cases, there was some real family ties going on. There was a sense of like, we know how good the mother was, we want to be involved with the daughter. And, you know, another incredible product, I hate that word, of Waikato stud, but a fabulous ownership group. They're so proud of her. They wear their hearts on their sleeve, and, you know, being with them when she's racing makes me feel very humble.
Rick Williams from the Oak Stud, congratulations. We just heard all the stats about him. He's a remarkable horse. What does he mean to all of you at the start?
Yeah, well, obviously he means a lot. He won a Group 1, he won a Classic. He almost did it in Australia, really. So honestly, he's been an amazing find, and he's just got better and better.
There was a heck of a 3-year-old category that we just saw there. What, in your mind, kind of stands him apart from maybe other horses that you've had at the Oaks?
You know, we've had some good ones, but he's a colt. But I think this year some of his best performances, obviously the 2000 Guineas, but he took on the older horses at weight for age and ran third, and the 2 Australian horses beat us. It takes a bit of doing. And then he went to Australia at the end of a pretty long campaign, and I've got to say, I thought he was going to win 200 out, but you know,
I think we all did.
Yeah, we found a gelding better, unfortunately. But I just want to say how much Pam Gerard was part of this, and Sam Spratt. She's having babies at the moment. I understand she's had a young son in the last 48 hours, so she would have been here tonight as well. But she were all part of the team.
What's it like as a trainer when you've got a horse who everyone's kind of expecting to perform and perform well? Is it fun, or is it actually quite nerve-wracking and maybe makes race day a little bit harder?
I think Savagely, I just feel very privileged to have a horse like that. Like Dick Harriman, thank you, Rick. I'm so lucky to have a horse of that. Like, a good horse makes a good trainer. Makes a good jockey, makes a good team, makes everything good. It just makes everything so much easier. So just really privileged to have him in the team, and it just makes everything so easy. Yes, he's a little bit tricky at times, but he keeps you on your toes, and I think it just takes you to another level. It makes you actually work really hard to get the best out of him. So yeah, we're just lucky.
This might be a silly question, but what was the highlight?
I think Australia. You know, it was a huge year, and I guess we lost Mike a couple of days before he got there, and you know, we've got to mention Mike. He's been an amazing person to racing, and we so wanted him to be there, and he was excited about us bringing Savagely over. So that was massive what he did to run second in that race, and it was that bloody clock cloud. It's such a long way up there. So. But yeah, that was huge, and I obviously reckon I've just never gone there being so confident that we just had the horse right, and when you've got the horse right, it just makes everything so easy, and I just couldn't see anything beating him that day.
I am pleased to announce that the winner of the 2024-25 Champion Sprinter Miler, sponsored by Taylor Perry Insurance Consultants, is Grail Seeker.
Congratulations, that was incredible. She was such a good mare last season, wasn't she? Tell me about that first Group 1 win, which was this time last year. Were you expecting that?
Well, one always got hopes. All these people in this room have got hopes. So yes, the answer is we went there with hopes, but nevertheless, we were pretty thrilled. Yeah.
I can imagine you were. What was the feedback from Lance and Andrew in the build-up to that Tarzino trophy last year?
Generally, they probably try and hose the owner down. No, they were obviously very optimistic that she will carry on, and they did, and she did.
I guess the second Group 1 victory was a little more expected, and it gave Kevin Stott a New Zealand Group 1 victory. Didn't it? Talk me through being at Trentham and what unfolded that day.
Well, again, I mean, we went with high hopes, and she ran brilliantly, so yeah, indeed.
She was just a standout mare from last season, wasn't she? When she's at her best, gosh, she can sprint.
Yeah, she certainly was, Emily, and Andrew and I, we just, we're so thrilled and to be able to have a mare like her in our stable. But her performances in the Telegraph and of course the first one at Hawke's Bay was going to take a very good horse to beat her. But we were just so fortunate to have her, and she only had the 4 runs as a 4-year-old. And this year will probably be another light year. We had no luck yesterday, but we'll turn the page. But we're certainly confident there's a lot more for her to do.
David Price, congratulations. We just heard all the stats there. You got an early Christmas, or you got a bloody good Christmas present, I should say, because after Christmas he turned into this freakish winning machine. What was that like?
That was amazing. He's never been too good in the spring, but when we came into the summer, he just grew an extra leg. We stepped him up in grade, in distance, for Stephen's training effort to get him from 2,000 back to 1,600 to 2,000, winning 3 Group 1s in 4 weeks was an amazing effort.
What's it like as an owner to own a horse who more often than not is likely to be in the lead, and then you're just hoping like hell he holds on?
Well, you're normally the first one beaten, but no, he's been an amazing ride for Mark and I. Unfortunately, Mark can't be here tonight. Air New Zealand cancelled his flight home, so he's en route at the moment. But no, it's been amazing.
Deserving winner of Champions Day. What a feat. Must have been such a thrill to take out that huge milestone. One of the classics on the calendar at Derby.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Willie was actually our first My Racehorse horse in New Zealand. We've bought a few from here, but he was our first to race. So huge credit to Sean and Emma. They've set the bar very high for us. It was such a special day at Ellerslie. We had about 200 owners from Australia fly down. And obviously the existing owners, Sean and Emma, Brian Black and the crew. Unbelievable.
Tell me about that selection process. You purchase a horse from New Zealand pretty early on and you turn out to win a Derby. That's a pretty good success rate.
Yeah, that's it. I think we can't claim full credit. I think a lot of it was luck, but also, the way that they prepared him in his first prep. You had 6 starts and finished his New Zealand career with a Derby win. And obviously credit to Mick D, who rode him in the Derby, and also Massa, who did an amazing job throughout.
Tell me about My Racehorse and how you manage these huge syndicates and bring so many people in racing so much joy.
Yeah, look, it kind of just happens. I think there's a lot of people out there who love racing and love ownership but can't afford it through normal means. So, we're lucky to sort of be, at the head of it, kind of pulling it all together. And, we have as much fun as anyone. And, the owners are great. Willie's a celebrity over in Australia. We had our spring launch a couple of weeks ago. There were about 500 owners, and we had a hype reel like that, and there was sort of dead silence. And when Willie came on, we had all these other horses, but he got a massive cheer. And at Randwick yesterday, he ran in the tramway, very nice run, and no one was in the kind of boxes except, there were about 100 owners crowding around him. So it's an amazing thrill for us and for all our owners as well. And really grateful to have won such a prestigious race.
Jump across here to Sean and Emma, who were such a huge part of Willie Dewitt's career here in New Zealand. Talk me through the emotions for both of you in the build-up to a Derby, the pressure. There was pressure, wasn't there?
Yeah, there's a little bit of pressure, but as I said, I'd rather have that pressure and have a good horse like him going into it. Obviously, we had a little bit of a blip before the Derby, but he performed on the day and we just sort of trusted the horse.
Emma, tell us about Willie Dewitt and what's he like to have at home and have around the stable.
He was good, and I'd just like to say there was no pressure because I always knew he was going to win. So he was just, he's got personality. He's like a Tarzino, but everyone kind of falls for him like he's a big goober. I think that I said that he was like Will.i.am, and Sean said he was like Jonah Lomu, but so we're kind of different personalities, but he's a cool horse, and he kind of gave everyone a bit of hope and excitement and things, and he's everyone that's kind of had a little bit to do with him have really liked him. He has given a few bites to people along the way, but he's just showing his authority. Yeah.
I think we'll let him away with it. Now he's a Derby winner. What we were talking about his run in Australia, it must be nice for you guys to watch in and see what he's doing, and he looks right up to it over there.
Yeah, he did. We're really happy with his run last night, and we've had some good feedback from Kieran. Kieran's been happy with him, and obviously it was on his first prep, the Derby win, so we knew that being by Tarzino, and he should just keep improving, and hopefully we're going to be in for a fun time over there.
Well, enjoy tonight. Champion Stayer's got a pretty good ring to it. Well done to the My Racehorse team as well, and celebrations go on.
Yep, thank you.